Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, we got a pretty contentious one here, and the topic is, was Simone Biles justified for quitting the Olympics? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community place we can start talk about basketball, chat live during games, and so many other cool things. We have that linked in the comment section, and also make sure you click the join button and become a member of the channel. Anyway, let me get into this story here. So this story broke yesterday. Now, Simone Biles is considered to be one of the greatest Olympic gymnasts of all time. Right, she herself even feels that way, and she's a pretty big deal in her sport, and she's at the pinnacle of her sport. Now, recently she was at the Tokyo Olympics, and she was there with her team, and she was going through the different let's say challenges that they have to do, the different obstacles or whatever that they had to do, but for whatever reason she couldn't get through some of her moves properly, and she didn't complete one of the maneuvers that she normally would do the way that she customarily did it, and ultimately she decided that she wanted to pull out of the competition. And this decision that she made has sparked a huge debate across sports, right? And a lot of people are saying, did she quit? Was she justified? She said because of mental issues and all these different things. So people are taking different sides of this issue. We recently put a poll on our channel to get the temperature of what our audience thinks. And right now it's about, let's say 55% of the people have voted yes, she's justified for quitting, and the other 45% are saying no, we disagree. So I said, okay, let me give my thoughts on this video here, on this topic here, because I have my own thoughts. So before we go too far, what I want to do is play a soundbite for you guys to just I'm going to play a compilation of some of the things that she had to say regarding her decision to not continue. So before we go too far, take a listen to some of her comments here.
I just felt like it would be a little bit better to take a back seat, work on my mindfulness, and I knew that the girls would do an absolutely great job, and I didn't want to risk the team a medal for kind of my screw-ups, because they've worked way too hard for that. So I just decided that those girls need to go in and do the rest of the competition. No injury, thankfully, and that's why I took a step back, because I didn't want to do something silly out there and get injured. So I thought it was best if these girls took over and did the rest of the job, which they absolutely did. They're Olympic silver medalists now, and they should be really proud of themselves for how well they did last minute having to go in. And it's been really stressful, this Olympic Games, I think, just as a whole, not having an audience. There are a lot of different variables going into it. It's been a long week. It's been a long Olympic process. It's been a long year. So just a lot of different variables, and I think we're just a little bit too stressed out, but we should be out here having fun, and sometimes that's not the case. Yeah, we're going to take it a day at a time. I know tomorrow that we have a half day, or at least the morning off, so it'll be a good mental rest, and so we'll take it from there.
Now, in that soundbite, you heard a bunch of different things. You heard her say a number of different things. So what I'm going to do today, let me just quickly preface all of my comments by saying this. For those of you guys that have been on the channel for however long, y'all know that I think for myself. I'm very big on that. I don't follow the crowd. I don't follow people. I'm adamant about the concept of being a free thinker and not being a follower. So everything that I'm saying, I'm speaking from my perspective, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because this is truly how I think, and hopefully some people appreciate my honesty. Anyway, some of the things that she had to say, she said she decided not to continue because, they were being stressed out. It was a very stressful environment, and I can absolutely understand that place must be extremely stressful to get to that level. It must take a lot of dedication and hard work and a perseverance to get to that level. So she says it's very stressful, especially being on an international stage when you have all of the eyeballs looking at you. That must be real pressure. So she said it's stressful. I'm sure that's what she's referring to. She said it wasn't becoming fun anymore. It wasn't fun anymore. They weren't having fun anymore. And she felt like she was doing more harm than good, right? Because she's like, if I can't be at my best, I'm actually hurting my team. So those are some of the things that she said. And obviously she went on to say some other things. Now, I don't think Simone Biles owes anyone an apology. I think the only person she needs to consult with are her teammates and probably her family. That's about it. I don't think she really owes the public an apology one way or the other. Here are my thoughts, though, on quitting, because that seems to be the term. That seems to be the word that's kind of floating around. I've heard some other networks like Fox Sports and others give their take on it. And, Brandon Marshall, the football player, the former NFL player, he's big on mental health. He talks about, remember when Paul George was in the Orlando bubble, speaking about his issues with mental health, how it was affecting his play and all of these different things, and then how it had an effect on him. Even Giannis Antetokounmpo alluded to that, saying being in the bubble didn't do us any justice. We didn't really want to be there. We were homesick and all of these different things. So obviously, I think that is something, the mental aspect of sports is something that is very, very real. And, and it's something we should take into consideration. So here are my thoughts on quitting. First of all, the word quitting or the word quit is not something that can process in my mind. I'm talking about Charles here. I just can't compute that word for myself, right? I never quit. Never, right? I never quit. Never. If you met me, you would probably say you'd be meeting one of probably the most perseverant people you'll probably ever meet in your life. I don't quit. I never give up. And I never stop having confidence in myself. I never quit. Never, ever quit. I gave you guys the backstory of me last year when I was in Nigeria. I was in Lagos for about 7 or 8 months during the lockdown, when you couldn't travel anywhere. I was sick for 7 months with typhoid and malaria, back to back, like consecutively. I was sick for 7 months. You can ask Marco, with typhoid and malaria, always sick. And typhoid and malaria are life-threatening diseases, or whatever you want to call them, like viruses. They can kill you, right? They can kill you. During that process of being sick with malaria, I was still producing content. We were still churning out content. We were still, some people would have, the things that I saw last year living in Nigeria, going through, some people's brains would have cracked. Some people's brains would have cracked. Like it would have cracked. Some people would have lost it. And Marco told me, like, if this was another person, they would have lost their mind by now. They would have quit. I never quit. At that time, we didn't even have 5,000 subscribers. Some people tell you the days we were shooting videos, it was hot, the AC wasn't working, I'm in the office sweating, and one guy left a comment. I almost broke down in tears. He told me, man, for you guys to be out here still producing content, you're in that place, you're sweating, people didn't even know I was sick. He's like, man, that's dedication. Because it's it's me, who I am. I don't quit. Ever. Dreamerspro, we would not be here today if we quit. There were so many instances where we could have quit. So many instances where we could say, you know what, man, to hell with all of this. To hell with it all. Like, it's too hard. It's too, it's just like the odds seem stacked against you. It's too hard. We're going to quit. And some people would have said, well, you guys did give it a try. You gave it a try. But the one thing we did is we didn't quit. Dreamerspro would not be here today if we didn't quit, if we quit. Every emotion you can think of, we went through it. Every single one. Every single one. And I refused to get help from somebody. I refused for somebody to give me money and say, here, I refused it all from my dad. And I said, no. If I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do it based off of the merits of the work that I put in. Don't give me don't give me anything. I don't need to feel like you did it. Like I got here because, no, everything I did, like everything. And I won't go into the details about that. My weight challenges. For me, my weight has been one of the biggest issues I've had in my life as far as controlling it. I was very overweight when I was younger. Then I was finally able to lose weight toward my late 20s. Got into the best shape of my life. Then I went to Nigeria and my weight turned, like it just went, like, because I have a very slow metabolism. I put on all the weight And ever since then, I've been struggling to lose the weight. I've been trying to do things, struggling, dealing with stress and all these different things. But the one thing I know is that I'm never going to quit until I figure out a way to lose the weight. Never. 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 Regardless of how stressful it gets, because it's not me. It's not who I am. I can't even say the words, because if I say the words, I'm already finished. I'm talking about me now. You look at someone like Elon Musk. Elon Musk was born in South Africa, migrated to the United States, started PayPal with his friend. They sold it. Go listen to Elon Musk's story. I think he was down to $30 million and he had a decision to make. Does he take all of the money and dump it into one company, in which case that company may most likely probably succeed, or split it up and put it in two different companies where both of them could fail? Go look at Elon Musk's story. A lot of people exalt and praise Elon Musk. They admire him. Yes, because he's doing something cool, but it's also because of his story. And they asked Elon Musk during an interview about his rockets. He had 3 failed tests of his rockets. 3 failed. He said he couldn't even afford the best engineers out there, the rocket chief engineers. So he became the chief engineer of the rocket. Right? He became the chief engineer of the rocket. And on the 4th try, he finally made it. And they asked him, they said, "What at any point, did you ever think of quitting?" With tears in his eyes, he said, "I never quit. I never quit. I never quit." That's the reason why Elon Musk inspires so many people. It's not just that he makes cool cars that I don't like, because I don't like electric cars, to be quite honest. I like the combustible engine. I like the way they sound. I don't like, me and Marco always talk about, you can't hear anything. Like, I don't like it at all. I'm a Ferrari guy. I asked him, I like nice cars. It's not just because of that. It's because of the perseverance. That's why people respect him. And let me also say this on a global perspective, on a global level. If I told you some of the things that people in this world are experiencing and are going through, I think some people will sit down, they will slowly kind of sit back in their chair and become very quiet. There are people on this earth that are going through hell. Hell. There are people out there that cannot afford to quit. You know why they can't afford to quit? Because there's no safety net. There's no safety net. There's some people out there that if that day they don't work and they don't make something, they don't eat. They don't eat. They don't eat. Life is hard. Life is hard. Across the board, across the globe, it is hard. There's no two ways about it. I don't think life is meant to be easy. I think life is meant to be a challenge. My dad always gave me a quote. He said, "If wishes were horses, beggars would ride." Meaning that if it was so easy, everybody would do it. If it was so easy, everybody would do it. Now, to speak directly to her, it is courageous to do what she did because, number one, she understood that she could not go on any longer. And she was willing to deal with whatever backlash that came with it. It takes courage to do that. It takes courage to stand up and know that, yes, some people are going to support this decision. Others are going to disagree with it. But you're willing to step out there and deal with everything that comes with it. That is admirable, and it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. It's tantamount to saying I'm wrong. It's very hard for some people to say I'm wrong. So her doing that does take a level of courage. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Because she's fully aware, especially at that level, that there are going to be people that disagree with her decision. And I think she knows that. So that's the one that's worth noting. But if I'm talking about me, and given the fact that I'm thinking for myself and I'm using my own brain, I have a completely different upbringing, I have a completely different background, and I can't see things the way you see them. I can't, otherwise then what's the difference between me and you? We're the same person. Me, I never endorse quitting. It's not something I would teach my kids, nothing, never. Now, there's some things that you can understand. Listen, okay, you can be pursuing a certain thing and you can say, okay, this thing has ran its course. There's nothing else I can do. It's like trying to build a business. You run out of money. And then you run out all the money, then you run out all of your credit lines. No one is willing to give you a loan. Then literally there's nothing else you can do. Or if you're fighting an uphill battle that is not fruitful, then it's like, okay, you've tried it, you've exhausted your options. Now try something else. That I completely understand that. But the idea of quitting, I don't subscribe to it. I never will. Never will. I never will. I never will. Never will. I never will. You'll never have what you want in this life if you quit. You'll never have it. You will never truly get what you want if you quit. And if you do quit, if you do decide that, listen, this thing is not what's, don't wait for sympathy. Don't expect people to put their arm, because the only people that are really going to care to that level are probably going to be your family, your close friends. Apart from that, that's it. That is it. The world is harsh. I was talking to one of my cousins in Nigeria yesterday. If I tell you some of the things that people are going through, I think a lot of people will sit back and count their blessings and say, man, like, okay, I maybe I need to take a step back and just kind of like, put my life into perspective. People are going through SHI, you know what I want to say. And a lot of it has nothing to do with, them not trying hard. There are people out there that are trying their best and they're still not getting the results. So for me, it's not something I would personally do. I would not be here today. Marco and I would not be here today if we quit. Half of the things that you see in this world would not exist if somebody quit. They just wouldn't. So these are my thoughts. My thought is this. My final conclusion is this. Does she have the right to make that decision? Absolutely. Does it take courage to make a decision like that? Absolutely, because you know what you're going to deal with. You know what's going to come after that. Right? So I'm not going to call her a quitter. No, that's her prerogative. She has every right to do that. Every single right to it. It's her right. It's her free will. But this is also what I feel. I never quit. I don't endorse it. It's not something I would teach my kids. There are plenty of examples of people who never quit and they've gone on to do fantastic things. If you don't believe me, go look at the story. Go watch and read the story of Elon Musk. Go read that story. It's as much about smarts as it is about character. Those two things go hand in hand. You can be the smartest person in the world, but if you don't have character, you're not going anywhere. And if you can have character, but you don't have the smarts and the work, all of these things go hand in hand. So for me, these are my thoughts. Some people are going to disagree, which you have every single right to do, as long as you don't feel like as if I need to see things the way you see them, then we're fine. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. But again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.